On this week's episode of Black, White, and Red All Over, we're back in the building. So
yeah, it's a different vibe.
We're gonna be together. We're gonna be together. We're gonna make all the fun. We get to go to the wall. We've got a lot of books to talk about, though.
Right. This is another 5-week month, and yet we're like, and we don't even have multiple covers for it. Like, this is just a bunch of different books. Yeah.
So let's just get to it, man. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Let's jump at it. Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Black, White, and Red All Over. I'm Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics.
Ryan Seymour, king of Comic Town here in Columbus, Ohio.
Dude, we are 5 episodes away from 500. This is 495.
Crazy.
This is crazy talk. Marathon style. That's how we do it. If you don't know, if you're brand new here, obviously you should just subscribe and just see what we do.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
I would hit like. Just right out of the gate.
Just click that thumbs up right now. But we're going to review some books to you, recommend them to you, because we've read them already.
Yep.
So when you go to the shop, you know what to get. We start off, as always, with the good reads you should read. These are the ones that if you have a couple extra dollars, you should take these in. Okay, so we've got 2 that are the same in this bunch. Where do you want to start?
Okay. Well, why don't you... All right, so a couple episodes back, you were
talking about Geiger. This one's Ground Zero. So I had the great fortune of being the moderator for the announcement panel of Ghost Machine.
Pretty awesome.
I mean, it was definitely cool. It was certainly cool. If you're not familiar with what Ghost Machine is, it is a series of creators, some of the biggest name guys in the biz today, that have banded together to create their own imprint that's going to be published under Image, which is really cool. This one is the first step in their overarching setup. It's absolutely amazing. Now, because I talked about the preview book before, this one I put on the Goodreads You Should Read just so we had more room for some stuff that we hadn't read yet. But this is phenomenal. Getting to see the rest of the story, it's powerful. It's powerful. This is one of those things where, okay, the end of the world is happening, right? Or getting ready to go down. You know that you've got a fallout shelter. Yeah. And your neighbors find out that you have one. There's a moment here where neighbors become unneighborly. Right. And I'm like, Nah.
What do you do? I mean, you're fighting for your own lives.
Literally. And it's not even that, you're saying that they couldn't have come in anyway, but they're those ones. There's the ones that are like, we're going to protect ourselves and you just got to suffer. Excuse me. Why didn't you just ask? Hey, is there enough room for all of us? That's what you get. But this is absolutely brilliant. Jeff Johns, writer. Gary Frank is the artist. And Ghost Machine, y'all. It's going to be the future. So pick this one up. You're going to want it. It's got some preview stuff for what's to come, and it's gorgeous. All of it.
Yeah, and we're going to track down. Don't try to track down the issues for the previous miniseries.
Right.
Just get the trade. Just get the trade.
Easy peasy.
It's so good.
Sets it up. Lets you get into it. You'll love it. Yeah. Big shout out.
Alrighty. The Outsiders. Yay. It's on a DC. And this is a weird one, because when I first read Outsiders, because Batman has had over the years different groups of side characters, B-listers, that has been his side quest team. Yeah. And so this one is not that. Okay. It's got Batwoman. Right. It's got Batwing. It's got a few other members. So nobody super powerful. What this is though, this is a take on this universe's version of Planetary. Oh. So they're archaeologists for the secret history of the DCU. Wow. And it is really, really cool. It hasn't grabbed me as much as the Planetary did, and that's why it's here and not there. But it is still really good. It's introducing other things from the original Wildstorm universe.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's
I like it.
Right? I was really, really entertained by it. Okay. And man, it was fun. And if you're trying to figure out how to say stuff, because a lot of it is spoiler if you haven't read Planetary. It's really, really good. It has a sci-fi kind of vibe to it. There's some stuff going on that you're the DC universe isn't just what we think it is. There's very, very good.
That's cool. What a smart move, man. Both in terms of the concept and the branding and all. Okay. Yeah. All right. from here,
Yes.
what do you say we take on the Great American Heroes?
Yeah.
All right, so G.I. Joe #1.
301.
301.
Yeah,
that's
so,
true.
Yeah,
that's
it's
true.
so weird.
Sorry. Because it does say first issue,
Yeah,
but
it's...
Yeah, there's continuity that you have to know. And you were talking about that before. Like, so what is the last bit of continuity that you had to have read to know exactly where this comes in?
I'm pretty sure it stopped with IDW number 300. The IDW run number 300.
Gotcha.
Because this picks up, there's like 2 pages of like, here's your quick catch up.
Right.
And it gives you, because otherwise you're like, why is this particular
this
character not
here? Right.
And then it goes boom, right back into the story.
Yeah.
So it is nonstop action this entire book.
All right, so big shout out. Larry Hama is back. He's probably the penultimate voice of penning any history of G.I. Joe. Literally did it for himself initially, but all that stuff, all that info got used for the backs of the toys. Yeah. And that's just how prolific he is. Wrote the Marvel series. Is back here for this one with art by Chris Mooneyham. And Chris's art,
it's so kinetic.
It is.
It really is.
It gives me Howard Chaykin meets Sienkiewicz vibes, and
very much so. Yeah.
I dig it. I dig it a lot. This was a lot of fun to read. Like, not having read the IDW stuff, still able to pick this up, jump right in. I know. You know what you need to know, right? You know your Joes, you know your Cobra guys,
and if you don't,
you get it.
There's a handy dandy cheat sheet in the back.
They do tell you. Yeah, this was just really fun. I am curious as to how this is going to play into the greater Energon universe,
right?
Because we know, Duke is introduced in the greater Energon universe, and he's not a member of the G.I. Joes yet. So, really curious as to how this is all going to kind of shake out. So, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, very fun.
Last but certainly not least, the Immortal Thor #4. That was hard to say. That was really hard to say. Oh my God!
Right? If you say it wrong, it's going to create like a vortex that will suck the entire universe into it.
So just be like, let me get that the IT4. Let me just get that IT4. Let me just get that. Okay, so we knew that after the last issue that Thor had a plan to recruit some folks to help him out, and #1 on the list was Storm.
Yeah, which is such a duh moment. Like, why has that never been? Yeah, your power is like weather and storms, and I'm the god of.
I'm the god of. So yeah, let's do that. Here's the thing that I love about this. They established that there's a difference between her causing storms and controlling the weather. Yeah. And that I was like, oh.
Yes, because when she did that,
yes.
I was just like, oh, she's even less of a person. Like, she was already not someone to trifle with.
Right.
But when you're able to do that to someone like that,
that's when you go, And his solution, I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, how is this gonna play out?
Yeah.
How is this gonna go? Okay, now to be fair, as exciting as it was to read this book, the next issue will be the one that I like.
Yeah. Because this is the final setup for the big climactic battle.
Yes. And that battle is going to be nuts. Yeah. Especially because so in so much of like Thor's history, you have this thing about longevity, right? Yeah. How long he's been battling, and a fight can last days, months, weeks, years. Yeah. Not this one.
There's a time limit.
There's a severe time limit, and I adore the fact that that's reinstated, which is very important. But those people that are now people. Once you read this, you'll know that are now under kind of that whole setup. Yeah. I wanted one more.
Yeah,
I did.
It's kind of interesting that one was not.
Yes.
And that last 2 pages.
What is that?
Right.
That is. I mean, crazy talk.
Yeah.
Crazy talk. All right. So again, if you have a couple extra dollars and you want to add to your read pile, grab these.
It's pretty good.
You know what? And I'm going to suggest that you do this because comic shops need it. You know, you might have some things that you regularly buy, but trying out some new stuff does nothing but help everybody. It helps the publishers, helps the shops, helps you get some cool things. So definitely do that. And we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. And we're back. I'm still Victor.
Ryan, probably. For all you know. Could be AI.
We could have switched. You don't know. Okay, so we had to define ourselves. Okay, so these are the must-reads.
Yes.
These are the ones that if you go to the shop, you have to leave with these books. I mean, why else did you go if it wasn't for these? Now, we've got two the same.
Yes.
One that's different.
Yes.
Fix me. Please, fix me.
All right. The name of the book. All right. The subtitle to the book is A Christmas Story. The Deviant. Written by James T. IV, Josh Hickson. Oh my gosh. Okay. So
So good.
right. This is one of those ones that with those particular creators, you know that there can be a portal to hell that they're inviting you through.
Easily. Why didn't I read this book? Oh, okay.
Well, that's the thing is on the cover,
Yeah.
like it doesn't if somebody doesn't tell you, you're not going to necessarily know.
I
this
know
is
I
the creative
overlooked it.
team.
I know I did.
The word, Deviant. What's that? What is that? What is that book about? All right. So, in the year of our Lord 1973,
Okay.
there was a mass murder of children by someone dressed as Santa Claus.
Oh, that's awful.
Sure. So.
Okay. All right. You set a bar, right? You
Yeah.
set a bar. Okay.
So this dude in modern times is wanting to write a comic, like a biography, or like my friend Jeffrey Dahmer. I would assume some kind of comic
Okay.
based on the story.
Right.
And so he goes to the prison where the person that was convicted of these crimes is, and he's beginning the interview process, trying to build that rapport with them to try to get a story.
Figure out what's going on. Okay.
So we start getting these backstories about the reason that the comic writer wants to do it is he grew up in the same town that it happened in.
Okay.
He heard these stories his entire life. Is it true? Is it not true? The person that's in prison is very cagey about everything.
Okay.
But there's a certain charisma about him that you're like, I kind of want to talk to you more, even though you did these despicable things. And then we find out that he might not be the person that did it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Very cool.
Okay.
Very dark. It's
Yeah.
Just
It's
look at the
rated M
creative
for
team.
mature. I can't wait.
Oh
I can't
my gosh,
wait.
yeah.
Okay.
It was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
There's a particular page that I spent time trying to, because I shouldn't have. I just shouldn't have tried to figure out what all this. So that means it was very well rendered.
Yeah, very well. All right. Also, something very well rendered. The Ministry of Compliance. This is a I just grabbed it. It's a #1.
Yep.
Creative team is John Ridley. So definitely great writing right there. Artist Stefano Raphael. And then colorist Brad Anderson. Big shout out to Brad because Brad is also the key colorist for Ghost Machine. So it's going to be a beautiful looking book. And then letter Ariana Meyer. This book starts off. Did you flip through this at all?
I read it, but that was the one where it was like kind of speed reading.
Okay, so you see how badass this chick is, right? Like, we get a beautiful black woman in a suit and a sword, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
This one is a sci-fi heavy type joint, right? Like, if there is any possibility that this could turn into a show, I need it to happen.
That's what I felt like. That's what I felt like. I was watching a paper, like you took the show and you turned it into a comic.
Yes.
But not like in the process of like, we'll adapt it to a comic. Like you somehow magically, I want it.
Yeah. We're talking, okay, here's broad constructs. Alien invasions. We're talking conquering. We're talking susceptibility, division of populace, and it all being manufactured, like so many wonderful things that sound a little on that
too soon.
Way too soon, but so good. So good. And this right here, thick book, good read, lots to talk about, lots to think about. Pick it up. That's my word.
Really, really, really good.
Okay, I think we can both agree that the next one
Yeah.
is going to be Red Light #1 from AWA. Now, ordinarily, when we review books, for the most part, they are generally, teen, all age friendly.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit mature. The Deviant is mature rated. This one, not for kids.
Yeah, not even in the ballpark.
No,
kids.
no. Like 18 plus.
Yeah, if you're still young at heart, no.
Still,
like you're still a kid.
Don't even look at it. Written by Sarah H. Cho, illustrated by Priscilla Patrice, I think, which I think matters. Okay, so presumably both creators identify as female, and there is a sensibility and sensitivity that rings true because of that, and I think that's very, very important.
Yeah, because it takes a character that is an AI semi-biological android. Think Blade Runner-esque.
Yes.
Like Replicant to an extent.
Right.
And she works at a brothel.
A brothel.
I think we can say that.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you put that character in that environment in the hands of someone else writing, they're not going to bring the same.
There's going to be a salaciousness to it, not a sincerity.
Yeah.
And
because the content is very spicy,
right,
but it's not salacious.
Right.
Which is like a weird sort of combination.
Very much so. Very much so. Lacey was a great character, great introduction to what this world could be.
Yeah.
And there's a lot there. It makes you think like, okay, all this talk about AI and the complications therein, but here is a definitive business structure that I think would in fact jump off if allowed. Like, and then is that good? Is that bad?
Are the people working their people, or
right?
Like where's
the line? People versus property. That's a very,
because there's moments where she is property.
Yes.
I shuddered. Like when you read it, you'll know. Because like,
yeah. And there's a new character that gets introduced towards the end, and I'm very curious how that relationship is tied in there, because that's going to be there's so much cool, very well thought out. Sarah did a great job building this world.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And it looks phenomenal. So definitely grab that one if you're of age.
Yeah,
if you're not of age, don't even get caught flipping through this.
Yeah, because
it probably should come in a plastic.
It really should have, because it's like money shot graphic.
Yeah. Like it's out there. It's out there. But so we're not suggesting that you look at it if you're not ready for that. But if you are ready for that, it's a really good read. Yeah, because despite the graphic nature,
it's like a really good story. Yeah, that's the thing. The story gets it up here.
I'm not looking at the pictures. I'm reading the story. It's my story all the time. Oh my god. Okay.
Crisis on Infinite Marks.
On Infinite Miller Worlds, like for sure. The big game number 5.
I don't think there's an advertisement in it.
There's an advertisement for awesomeness throughout this entire thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is a large book.
Yes.
It is $7.99, but you are getting your money's worth, because this is just all comic.
What you need to happen happens. What you want to happen happens. This goes top to bottom on. It hits all the notes. You ever have a thing that hits all the notes and there's not like a bad swing at all?
Yeah.
Like your favorite bad guy gets what the bad guy needs, but then there's more, and then there's and then your favorite hero, and then there's more, and then there's so much.
Yeah. And one of the things that I love and kind of hitting those notes is you have to nail each of the characters' personalities.
Absolutely.
Which, even if you are the original creator behind, there are so many characters in this.
It's hard to wield.
Yeah. But every character is that character. Every note hits perfectly.
Yes.
It's so over the top in its violence, in its action, the plot twists. Just, oh my gosh.
Freaking brilliant. I've said multiple times on this show that Mark Miller is my friend and mentor, and here's why. I've built my imprint, Vantage and House Productions, you should check us out, where each title is a separate standalone title all into itself. Tells a complete story when you read that series. But there is an overarching shared continuity amongst it all. To see Mark come through and be like, sit down, little boy, you haven't figured out how to do this right yet, because this is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is everything that I've aspired to do in my imprint. Like, no joke. I'm buying this book and putting it up above my desk so I just know what to work towards. It's that daggone good.
If you read Wanted, you need to read this. If you read the original Nemesis, you need to read the new Nemesis Reloaded, and then read this.
And then read this twice.
Read all of them.
Magic Order, Starlight, like all of it. Superior.
A love letter. Starlight, love letter to Flash Gordon.
Yes. Oh, what a great moment. If you read Kick-Ass, if you're a fan of Kick-Ass 2, the movie, you should read this.
And never read a comic before. Read this.
Read the series
because, like the dejection, like
so good.
That's like a tough word, like mayonnaise.
It was
like he in a bad spot.
Yeah.
And then,
isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
Which page? Like, not that you're watching, Pepe, but if you were, which
he's watching
panel, which splash page? Because that's the level of action this is. It is a big summer blockbuster with tons of action. Which one was the most fun to draw?
That's a good question. Like, because I almost wonder, did you have a favorite and then you had to beat that favorite and then you had to beat that favorite? Because that's what it feels like. This is a book that is drawn by a guy that's literally like, how do I beat the last panel I did?
Because you got that moment.
That moment?
Yeah, Endgame. You've got that, which very easily could have been a splash page.
Easily.
Like, the action, every character, if there's a character from the Millerverse that you've liked and you have not been reading this, get yourself right. Because that character is involved in some way important, whether they're a bad guy or a good guy, whether they're from like a side mini series, like, oh man, I never
read that one. You should though.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this whole series was just it's a love letter, so well done. And
where do you go from here?
I don't know. Like, it's in-game level, big game to in-game. Like, it's so wonderful. And I think that's the other thing that I love is that there is still room. We just don't know where it could go.
Yeah.
And again, that's Mark Miller. Okay, here's the hard question. Are you ready? If this is adapted into other media, what way would you want this to be shown? As something animated or live action?
Oh wow, that's toughy. If I had Powerball money, God, I don't even know that you could fan cast all those characters.
I mean, because that would be tough. That would be tough.
Animated would be the easiest.
Sure.
It would allow you to go over the topiest.
Absolutely.
Is that a word?
It is now.
It is now?
It is now.
But man, there's just something, because I know with Wanted, like the original stuff, kind of like with Ultimates, that's where we get Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. With Wanted, I know that Holland Berry, Eminem are kind of
that they were cast. Yeah.
It would feel, once again, if I had Powerball money, to cast these characters and do live action.
Sure.
And have Mark go through and
kind of vet and go, yes, no, yes.
That would be my dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Honestly, I think I would take animated.
It opens up a lot of options.
Yeah, just because, truthfully, it's Super Crooks. I love Super Crooks so much in the animated piece